Welcome to another episode of the Doll Diaries. Now today I am bringing you a smart doll video, and it's a Moomin inspired video also. Now I've been sharing my smart doll journey with you, and I recently opened a Mirai smart doll, and I kind of missed out a doll in between. So the doll that I missed out in between was Oceana. Now what happened is I bought Oceana's head, which you can see she's here, but in a tand, and then I put her on the body that I originally had Kitty on. So Kitty I ended up putting on a full vinyl body, and I gave that body to Lexi. Then Lexi's ended up on a Cortex body that I bought for scrap. It was like an old generation body, it was like the Gen 2, and it had some broken bits on it, but Lexi's actually using that body, and it does look really nice on photographs and things, and you can't really see the broken cuffs on the arms in photos anyway. So as soon as I got the Oceana head, she had a body to use straight away, and I ordered a wig on Etsy because I wanted to recreate the Mirai character. So I made my own Mirai doll out of my Oceana in a tand. Now generally Mirai is either milk or cinnamon, but there has been some other colours, but generally she's generally sold in cinnamon. That's her default colour, should I say. So I was happy to have like a replica, but now I've actually got Mirai, I can see how different the girls are, but I can see why I thought they were very similar. But now I've given my Oceana, my make-believe Mirai, a new identity, and her identity is Little Mai. She's going to be the younger sister of Mirai, and she's got a mischievous look, and Little Mai from the Moomin books is a mischievous character. Now I got into Moomins when I was very, very, very little, like toddler age, and it was based on the TV show, and I actually was terrified of Little Mai. I was really scared of her. Now I've been reading the Moomin books, and I was really looking forward to coming across Little Mai because I was reading them in the right order, because I wanted to know what I think of her. So I'm just starting, in the books that I'm reading now, I'm just starting to come across her, and she likes sitting in the sewing basket and things, which I find really very sweet. So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to make a dress to look like the Little Mai character. And so basically I asked in a sewing group on Facebook, does anybody know of an A-line mini pattern? And in all honesty, nobody really come to my aid to say, yes, there's this pattern. People were very kind and made all these kinds of suggestions about what I could do to a pattern I'd already got, or they were just making suggestions, but to be honest, I just didn't really have the time. I did draft up something myself, but I didn't really want to go for the whole rigmarole of trial and error because I'm so busy. I have a job, I have a family, I do YouTube, so yeah, and I make a lot of things, so yeah, I didn't really want to do it. So I found a pattern that I was happy to kind of hack into an outfit to look like Little Mai, and I'll put it up on the screen now. It's titled Dress for Smart Doll and Similar Size Dolls. This is what it says on the pattern that I've bought, and it says My Little Doll Story doll patterns. So if you found My Little Doll Story on Etsy, you would find this picture, and she looks very like Wednesday inspired, doesn't she? Now this dress has a pointed collar and these gorgeous pointed cuffs. Now little Mai doesn't have any cuffs, but I've had a look at the pattern. I was just going to omit them, but that actually is one of the options in the dress pattern. You can leave the sleeve a little longer and omit the cuffs, which that's what I'll do. And I'm also going to be omitting the collar. Now I was going to film a sew along for this video, however, because I'm not going to be making the dress as it should be, I'm omitting things. I'm only going to film a little bit of this process and then I'll show you the finished thing. So basically I'll be making this dress as the instructions are, but when it gets to the point of putting in the collar, I will just not do that and I'll go on to the next step. And when it gets to the cuffs, I won't be doing those. I'll just be flipping them over and sewing them, which I will be doing before I sew up the side seams. Now in this pattern, the designer sews up the arm sleeves and then she attaches the cuff, where I will be overlocking the edge of mine. I will flip over the cuff and I will stitch the side seam then, so it will all be done in one go. And what I'll also be doing is, because little Mai has a bow, I will be making a bow. Now I've took a bow which I've made before for a school uniform pattern. Now this is on the Smart Doll website, so if you download Mirai's summer uniform, or just if the school uniform, if it's still on there, you'll get this bow pattern. So the large bit is the bit that sits at the back, then that bit on top once it's all made, and that's the bit that goes around the centre. So I'll be making that in pink. So the fabric that I've got, I think it's just like a polyester. It really doesn't press very well at all. If it has any cotton in it, it's very limited. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 100% polyester or a very high polyester content, which is not my favourite, but it's still workable for dresses. And the fabric I'll be using for the bow will be 100% cotton, because I recently bought a whole pack of fat quarters, and I'll be taking a pink out of there. Now little Mai also has some black tights, which I don't know if I'm going to be making the black tights, in all honesty. I'll be quite happy with the dress, and maybe I'll have to do something with her hair. Now I have been doing some doll makes while I've been away from camera, and I've made these hats, these Smart Doll hats. Now I can't remember who I bought the pattern off. However, I will share that with you, don't worry. Now I didn't make them by the instructions, and I kind of fitted that to the hole, and then this one I gathered a bit more like what the pattern intended. But I'll pop a little hat on. I have taken some photographs of Mirai, so I don't think you can see that in the screen, but I have taken some photographs of Mirai wearing the hat. Now we're going into the autumn season, and it is my first autumn with Smart Dolls, so I'm really excited about it. So I had like the end of the winter. I didn't have a complete Smart Doll until February, because I started collecting pieces in January. I finally had a doll head and body and wig and everything I needed by February. So I kind of missed the Valentine's, but I managed to make one Easter dress, and I haven't really done much for summer, because over the summer I've been moving out of my craft room. So okay, I've made the summer uniform, I suppose I could class that as a summer make. But yes, my craft room is a shell at the moment, so my husband has been doing a little bit of work on the outside of it today, because it's been a pleasant day, and he's going to be working on it in the inside. I've been working in there as well, carrying bricks and throwing them into the skip and everything, so I've been really hands-on with this project. Oh, and there's something else. Can you spot something in the background? It is so gorgeous. A friend of mine, who was my first Live Doll friend, she introduced me to Smart Dolls, and she bought this mannequin, and she's decided she's too busy to spend time with her doll hobby at the moment, so she sold all of her dolls and she sold me this mannequin, which I really love. So, and it's the perfect size for standard smart doll size, which is fabulous. I think it's the standard bust, not the medium bust, but Oceana, who's now called Little My, she's on the standard bust anyway. So anyway, I've got a bit of footage already recorded for you, so I'll put all that together, I'll send you over to it, and then I'll bring you back here to show you what I have done, completed or done so far. So I'll see you in a little while. I have backed all my pattern pieces onto cardboard so I can draw around them and make them a little bit more sturdier for future use. And I've traced one of the patterns so far onto my fabric with an iron off pen. Now what I've done with the darts, I've actually cut them and left them attached right at the centre, so I can mark in the dart with the pen and mark out the outer line for cutting. Okay, now you have to make sure when you're cutting fabric it's on the straighter grain. Now if you're a bit concerned when you put a piece like this, is this on straighter grain? Now I've got this fabric on the fold because I need to cut 2 of these in mirror image. So what I can do is, there's a grain line here, so I've got a ruler. So if I go on I'm on the centimetre, it's a centimetre ruler, but you can use whatever ruler you work in. So if I put that on the 0 and I put the fold of the fabric on 7 centimetres. So then if I measure the grain line down here, this has to be on 7 centimetres. So if it isn't, you just move it over a little. So if I go down further and check, yes, go back to the top and check. Yeah, so basically if I measure from that line to the fold of the fabric all the way down, it's at 7 centimetres. So I know I'm on the straight of grain. Now I've made a notch on the line that's going to be folded later on, because that's going to be folded as a bit of a facing basically. So I've notched it out of my pattern and I'm going to mark that on. Now with doll clothes this big, you don't necessarily have to use frayed check. You could just use zigzag or any kind of stitch, a bit like you would with dressmaking for human clothes. It's your choice. I find it really crazy because I make clothes myself and I make tiny clothes, really tiny clothes, and this is kind of in between, so I feel a bit torn between different methods. I have ironed my darts in a downwards direction, and I've also ironed back these pieces, which I mark so you know where they are, and those are going to make the facings. Now we're going to be sewing the shoulder pieces together, but you don't sew these like this. If you flip these back and just sew that bit of shoulder and leave this all flapping around. So here is how the dress is looking so far, and I decide to make the socks after all, and I decide to not carry on filming the rest of the sewing process and just show you the big reveal. So here she is, ta-da! And doesn't she look wonderful? So here's some shoes from AliExpress. I've made stockings, which they're long enough to look like tights. And here's a dress, the hacked version of the dress pattern I showed you. Now I don't know if little Mai had a suitcase, but we've given her the suitcase. But she looks so adorable, doesn't she? She's got her hands on her hips, just like little Mai. Now the only thing I think we could do to make her more little Mai looking, the Moomin character, is we could maybe give her green eyes, which I don't have any green eyes. These are Mirai eyes that I bought off Etsy, pink Mirai eyes. And this is what I was using when I wanted her to be Mirai. And another thing we could do is get her a wig witch or make a wig even, so she could have an updo. But do you know what, I don't mind her hair just being in a kind of a low sort of ponytail. It's not too bad and it's really lovely. Now the bow, I don't know if I mentioned to you that I was making the bow from the school uniform outfit, but that was the bow I made. But they look very lovely. Now Moomin Papa looks the part, doesn't he? I added these glasses. He didn't come with them, but he did have the hat and the little cane. But this is a hat I made for Blythe, and I'm going to put this on her because I think they both look like they need a hat on, don't they? Oh, he's so lovely. I'm having so much fun creating a character with my smart doll. Now the possibilities are endless really, aren't they, with these dolls. Now Mirai that I've recently got, I really want to keep her as Mirai. I really want to keep Lexi as Lexi and Kitty as Kitty. Maybe, I don't know if it's nice to have a doll that you don't mind changing her up, but at the moment I like her as Little Mirai's younger mischievous sister, and she really looks lovely. Now I don't think I'll have to worry about any staining on with these leggings, because they were my leggings that I wore many times, and then what happened was they were quite big on me, and then my husband at the time was working outdoors, and I was letting him wear them because they were that big and stretchy. I was letting him wear them underneath his trousers for work, but then they were so stretched out I couldn't wear them at all, and then he didn't need them anymore, so they've just kind of been in my stash, but they've been washed so many times. I think it's highly unlikely any colour is going to come out of them, but maybe I will take them off her and just leave her in the dress. I'll have to have a look. It's advisable that you don't leave clothing on dolls, some dolls, too long because of staining. Now with like kind of some dolls it's no big issue because you just order another body, but ordering another body for these smart dolls is no easy thing. Now I've got a little mark on the back of Mirai's leg because she's been sitting down all over the place around my house. So I've actually got some Oxy 10 on her leg at the moment. I've got it wrapped up in the conservatory window. But so at the moment, she hasn't got a head on, so I can't play with her. But it's not like I went to see if I could purchase her another body while I'm, doing things with that body, and I can't get one. I even tried to see if I could get her the full vinyl body, and they're out of stock. So yeah, it's a bit disheartening really when that happens, but there you go. I wish there was more availability to buy replacement bodies for them. If anyone can advise me of a cinnamon body I could get for Mirai, if I were, or any of them actually, the tea, if I had some issues I need to deal with, so they're not bodiless for any amount of time, that'd be really useful. So anyway, on a more positive note, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Doll Diaries. I really hope you've liked seeing me turn a smart doll into a Moomin character, Little Mai, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Trying